At the height of autumn, our work on the log cabin continues. The cabin walls are shaping up very nicely, which means that another log cabin on a budget episode will likely be released before Christmas. But today, I thought I'd show you how I make a notch. The gap between these logs is 4 inches, but I want to cut a notch in the top log so that the gap is reduced to 1 inch. I started by setting my compass to 3 inches, which is the amount of material I'll need to remove from the notch to create a 1-inch gap. I held the compass as level as I could while marking. The bottom prong traced the bottom log, while the pencil duplicated the pattern on the top log. I marked the other side of the log in the same way. With a carpenter's pencil, I made the lines a little clearer. The log won't fit perfectly on the first try, which is why I made the first cut a rough one. Now that I had the log back up on the wall, I could see that the right side of the notch looked decent, but there was a gap on the left side that needed snugging up. Only using the carpenter's pencil this time, I traced around the bottom log once again. As the pencil followed the contours of the log, it naturally highlighted the areas that needed further trimming. Since the pencil wasn't touching over here on the left, I knew that this area didn't need any trimming. Not within the next round of cutting at least. The pencil markings indicate where I should trim. Much better. But the notch still needs some refining. On the third cut, I am much more careful. Looks pretty good. Later on, my plan is to pack oakum fibers into the notches, anywhere that I can slide a butter knife into. Tonight, we'll be staying at the bunkhouse, which has gotten a little cluttered as of late, but I guess that's what happens when a bunkhouse also doubles as a tool shed. Time to do a little tidying. By the time we finished supper, night had already fallen. The temperature was beginning to plunge below freezing, so we needed to gather some firewood to help keep warm. This was a perfect time to test out my new set of LED tractor lights. I really liked the look of the old headlights, but they produced more heat than they did light, and they drew a lot of power. My new headlights are many times brighter at 2100 lumens each, and they only draw 27 watts per light. I've got 2 on the front and 1 on the back. This was also a great opportunity to test out my new TH30 headlamp from ThruNite. We headed to where I've been keeping a few cedar logs that have been seasoning over the summer. I wasn't able to use them for the cabin because they were rotten in the center, but they should make for some good firewood. Once we made it to the lower clearing, I switched my headlamp to full power. I was surprised to see that it seemed just as bright as my tractor lights, but it makes sense considering that it produces 3,350 lumens on its own. Pretty impressive for such a compact headlamp. In fact, it's currently the brightest headlamp on the market in the compact category. Now, for full disclosure, this episode is sponsored by ThruNite. but that doesn't change the fact that I find the TH30 to be an invaluable tool in my line of work. The flashlight is configured to cast its light in a wide sweep, which is something I really appreciate in a headlamp. The comfortable head strap allows me to work hands-free, and I'm also able to adjust the angle of the light when necessary. Since this is a compact light, it can be detached from the mount and used as a handheld EDC flashlight as well. It even comes with a clip, which I sometimes use to attach the flashlight to the front of my jacket. The headlamp uses a single rechargeable Li-ion battery, which is included. And the battery can be charged right in the flashlight since it is outfitted with a micro USB charge port. In addition to being ultra bright, compact, and a great value, it is also waterproof up to 2 meters and is impact resistant, which is standard for through-night flashlights. Anyway, the firewood isn't going to gather itself, so I better get started. Although it was neat seeing my breath rise in the light, it was also a reminder of how cold the air had already become. Not that I needed any reminders. It was pretty cold. Time to find the log. Another feature of the TH30 that I really enjoy is its multiple modes, which are all operated from a single button. I can adjust the brightness by pressing and holding the button until it dims or brightens to where I need it. Double-clicking the button will activate its turbo mode, which is its brightest setting. It also has a firefly mode, which is an extremely dim setting for situations when you want to read or see something without impairing your night vision. It even has an SOS mode. When activated, it will strobe SOS in Morse code on a loop. No gas. Good thing we brought another chainsaw with us. The TH30 is an efficient light as well. In high mode, it can run for an hour and a half, and on low, it can run continuously for 60 hours. After warming up at the fire, we burrowed into our blankets for the night. Have a good night, and I'll see you in the next one.